Hello, this is teamscrubout with.
Max Chisick. I run a channel called Rogue Theory.
And what deck did you play?
I played Infernoids and I bubbled out. I did have Extravagance. That's about it. So you run 3 Decatron, which is absolutely mandatory no matter what. I ran 2 Antra. I ran Antra because of Thunder Dragons. Bouncing a card back because they don't have an ability to be destroyed, so it's one of the better smaller ones. 1 Harmaduke and 1 Petrulia. Petrulia's back row hate is very minimally successful. It matters only against like Salad, if anything, and even then, I barely even summon this. This I might even cut or replace with another Antra because it's just irrelevant in my opinion. You run Sajet so you can resolve Void Feast and summon out 2 Decatrons. That's about it. Getting on to the big cards, which actually matter now. You run definitely 1 Antandal, 1 Cydamus, 1 Ananku, which is very different from what most people run. I feel that its special summoning effect is not as important. A lot of people are not running spells and traps, which are just the inherent win. Almost everyone is playing a monster effect, which will immediately win them game or advance them to a certain game state. So this has rarely come up. The only time it came up was against the Vision Hero Increase. And then you run 2 Deviatis because monster effects are broken and it's the most common effect that you'll see an opponent use. Every single spell card is just a search. This stops the engine. This is what I prefer. That said, these should be Extravagance. I never saw these, so I guess it didn't really matter if these were Extravagance or not. But in the end, they do nothing for you. They stop an Ash Blossom, but this deck is meant to go second blind, and you just go through so many negates no matter what. Triple Lair of Darkness, bread and butter of the deck, tribute your opponent's monsters, that's enough to say. Banishment searches you Imagination. Imagination is the most busted card going second ever. You can set up an OTK so simply with just that and just 1 other monster, and it's completely outrageous what you can do. Banishment is in general just a nice card if they make you go first so you can get the Void Feast. Outside of that, that's it. Triple Instant Fusion for Thousand Eyes. That's the only card you summon off of this. I have considered running 2, and I would run 2 now because it does come up where you might need to use it again. But Instant Fusion is a Thousand Eyes, it's a bait target, that's about it. Bait's a hand trap. Mind Control. Bait's a hand trap, you take a monster and you can link 2 into it. Go into a link 2 like Beat Cop with Lair and tribute another monster. Monster Gate is an amazing card. Have Lair of Darkness, then tribute your opponent's monster, mill until you see Decatron. It's reasoning at 3, but better. Terraforming, it's terraforming. Reasoning, 1 through 12. You call 1, well that sort of sucks, but I still get so much advantage. Slash Draw. We run Slash Draw because we can actually, if we had a bad mill where we only milled spells with Reasoning or Monster Gate and only summoned 1 Decatron, we didn't mill any monsters off of it. Slash Draw allows us on our opponent's turn, because we always go second, to send cards from our deck, no matter what. By sending cards from our deck, it can be monsters, spells, whatever it is, but we get to choose what we put back. That can be Lairs that we lost, that can be Instant Fusions, that can be Prohibitions, which I side in, just because I just didn't have anything else better for this format. Card Destruction, even if I had Extravagance, I would keep this in because the advantage that you get when you from Card Destruction is too powerful on its own. When you look at drawing 2 cards possibly versus drawing 5 cards, this is just overwhelmingly powerful. And then evenly matched, you go second, and Void Feast. That's it for the main. The extra is very common, obviously Thousand Eyes, 3 of these, so you can mill and then send these to pop 3, and then to pop itself so that you can go into an OTK. You can OTK with Doolittle Chimera Tech if they have nothing. We have this because of Secret Village of the Spellcasters is terrible against this deck, and it sucks, and the only card you can really even use is Decatron into it. So it's our only out to Secret Village. Nightmare Phoenix, it was just a generic Link 2 that I just decided to put in. Ecomax, you can get 76 damage consistently off of your imagination effect. It's great. Beat Cops 2, I never summoned this. I would probably remove one and put an IP Masquerena, just because the protection effect that it gets whenever it makes any link summon is very effective. Outside of that, it is useful, but I just never came up. Akashic Magician, also a useful card. Came up actually against Mech Knights, surprisingly enough. I've also summoned this and then summoned Security Dragon underneath it, so I got a bounce of my opponent and then I got to excavate for it. VLS Link, I've summoned this once today. When I summoned it, I got Unicorn because I didn't have the right level for its non-targeting effect to be applied. And then Link Turbo, this actually comes up often, and surprisingly I have normal summon Decatron and then chained Link Kuriboh on the summon, so I can have an ability to go and Crusade at Equamax without minusing and having to summon that card from graveyard. For my side, Prohibition Triple. I didn't know what people were going to play. I haven't played in a while. This card just says no to a lot of things, so it's just a good side card. Run Triple Mine because it's mine. I don't have to say anything else. Strikes. If you end up feeling that you have to go first against a certain matchup, which you really never do, it was just a going first card. My idea is that you should always have 3 cards which you always side in going first, no matter what. You should always have that option. And if your opponent wants to go second, like Cyber Dragon or so forth, you want to side these in. And that's what happened today. It did come up, and it did save me against one game. I ended up OTKing him the next turn. It was against Gladiator, surprisingly. And actually Heroes, I forgot about that. Cosmic Cyclone, I never sided this in. Not once did I ever use this card. Not against Salad, not against anything, because you just blow throughout so many negates. I don't think it's necessary. The deck profiles that were running it, which weren't running any back row removal, I think are actually correct now. The only reason why you would run it is because you're afraid of mine, which I am. And finally, Red Reboots. You just don't want to get hit with an untimely hand trap like Impermanence. You don't want to get hit by another Red Reboot, which is why you run Red Reboot. And you don't want to get hit by evenly matched because you only run one Ananku for only one spell and trap negation. So this is very, very powerful. And I ended up also never using it. But I'm glad I had it.
Any shout-outs you want to do?
Just again to my channel, Rogue Theory, and that's about it.
Thank you for watching the live stream, and see you next